Let's go to Deborah Kostroun at the NYSE for an update on today's trading. The market selling off at one point 165 points, but late trading, everyone turning into buyers. Deborah Kostroun, tell us.
Well, thanks a lot, Pim. Yes, you know, the market really kind of struggling in today's session. And actually, as we closed out the week, it was a bit of a rocky road for stocks with a big drop on Thursday, struggling for most of the session on Friday, but then recovering. Take a look first at our weekly numbers to see how we did. The Dow dropping just about 0.5% this week. The S&P down almost 0.75%, and the Nasdaq off just by less than 1/3% for the week. And in Friday's session, that was kind of the big story. We spent most of the day lower until this turnaround happened in the last hour or so of trading. And at one point, the Dow was down 167 points. There was a lot of concern about some nations that may default on their debt. That's what kept the market under pressure, even though that unemployment rate decreased to a 5-month low of 9.7%. But by the close, investors speculated that the European Union may come up with a solution for Greece and Spain's budget deficits. And some traders say that they really didn't want to be short over the weekend if this news comes out that the EU saying that they will help out Greece and Spain, and that really kind of spurred the turnaround that we saw on Friday. Now, taking a look at some of the areas of the market that really also saw the turnaround, you saw material stocks leading the S&P 500. And if you take a look at a one-day chart of the materials, it really looks a lot like the Dow and the S&P, lower for most of the day, but then just charging higher near the close. This was as gold, oil, and copper rebounded in electronic trading, and that came after the close of many of the commodities exchanges. So for most of the day, as equities were under pressure, so were these raw materials, but making a pretty nice turnaround. And not only that, semiconductor stocks also among some of the gainers as well. Intel, the second biggest gainer in the Dow behind Cisco. Semiconductors putting in a pretty impressive turnaround as well. And taking a peek into next week, we have earnings on Monday from Lowe's, also CVS, Lincoln National, and Hartford Financial Services. In fact, next week, 60 companies in the S&P 500 will be reporting those earnings. And of course, we'll take a tally of them here, right here on Bloomberg Television. Back to you in the studio, Pim.
Thank you very much, Deborah Kostroun, reporting from the NYSE.